For the first half of the 20th century, rifles and SMGs developed independently. Rifles were more powerful and geared for more accurate long-range shots. SMGs evolved from full-auto pistols meant to clear trenches in World War I. This dichotomy persisted into World War II, with squads being comprised mainly of riflemen, with a few submachine gunners to handle close-quarter combat. Even with the introduction of assault rifles in the post-war era, SMGs still played the role of short-barreled, high-fire-rate, close-quarter weapons. And within that framework, no SMG was as prolific as the H&K MP5. Developed in the 1950s, the MP5 is a roller delay blowback, smooth-firing SMG. The most ubiquitous variant is the MP5A3, which comes with a retractable stock. Niche variants like the ultra-compact MP5K and 70 decibel MP5SD showed how the MP5 was apex in all roles that an SMG could take. The MP5 became universally known during the televised SAS counter-terrorist operation in the 1979 Iranian embassy siege. Black fatigues, gas masks, and an assortment of MP5A3s, MP5SDs, and MP5Ks created one of the first pop culture understandings of tactical. And this definitely made its mark on games. This is Hunk, a direct gamification of the impact these granddads of tactical had. Hunk is perhaps the epitome of the late 20th century warrior, which is probably why his design is so enduring. While he has used various weapons in his many outings, he looks most at home with the MP5. In games, there are certain guns that scream low-tier grunt. The AK, M4, are expected in the hands of the average soldier, but the MP5 is relegated to the elites. Hunk, Solid Snake, Alex Mason, or the elite terrorists in Winback. This is a specialty gun for your CQB guys, your modern ninjas, or your well-funded henchmen. Aside from its cool looks and specialized applications, a big reason the MP5 is so commonplace in games is due to the flashy ergonomics that lend themselves well to ambitious animators. The HK slap is legendary, bleeding into fictional weapons like the MA5B assault rifle, to add tactical spice to them. In regards to balancing, game devs kind of do whatever they want with the MP5. Delimber, penetrator, powerhouse, stealth tool. As long as it's close range and full auto, the MP5 can take on almost any role. This differs greatly from reality. There was a time and place for the MP5. When the M16 was the go-to AR, the 20-inch barrel made it unfit for CQB, so a reliable, controllable, and compact MP5 was the best money could buy. And by that I do mean a lot of money. The MP5 had its heyday in the 80s, but by 1990 a superior firearm showed that it wasn't meant to last. The FNP90 is even more compact, has a superior ammo type and capacity, and for the hype beasts, is just as ridiculously expensive. In 2010, the Chris Vector came out. It's lighter, comes with rails for customization out of the box, takes Glock magazines, which means it's compatible with some of the most common magazine types on the planet, and it can handle the 45 ACP. Oh, it's also much more affordable. But neither of these guns supplanted the MP5. Because it's not just the MP5 that was rapidly becoming outdated, SMGs themselves were becoming outdated. Going back to Vietnam, guns like the XM177 showed the direction full-auto CQB guns were going. The M4 brought rifles even closer to getting into CQB. By the time the Mark 18 came out, being lighter, stronger, and cheaper than an MP5, while being the same size, it became clear that this gun was getting old. Also, remember the cool reload? It's slow. Slower than this. You see, the MP5 requires you to lock that charging handle back because intense spring tension prevents fully loaded magazines from seating without that happening. So some operators would download their MP5s to 28 rounds in their magazines to be able to just tug the charging handle after putting in a new mag. A Mark 18 doesn't have that problem. Even the MP5K and SD are being supplanted. The TMP is more compact than the MP5K could ever be, and it has faster reloads. Piston ARs like the SIG MCX make for much better suppressor hosts than their direct impingement counterparts. And variants like the Rattler offer more range and power than the SD with a decent amount of sound suppression. Games are taking note of this. Short barrel ARs are the meta in COD. The CQBR doesn't need a gimmick like its RE2 counterpart. A suppressed rifle is Snake's lethal stealth go-to in the newer MGS games. Even when it comes to cool factor, devs would rather use the P90 or Vector as the cool guy SMG. But in most cases, a short barrel AR is most often chosen nowadays. So this is Hunk. He is based off of an older version of what we know as Tactical. This is the new Hunk. Hunk, like the MP5, is cool and classic, but this notion of tactical is outdated in both virtuality and reality. But what do you guys think? I saw a lot of comments on the poll that I just put up talking about how a lot of you don't think that this gun is outdated, so I'm interested to hear your arguments down in the comments below. Anyways, this has been Pliskin, over and out.
This is Solid Snake. Hey, subscribe to Pliskin Boy. God damn it.
You heard him.